The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Good Thursday morning. Welcome to Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt. It is once again very foggy out there, folks. Very dangerous on the roadways as the fog is socked in. So just take a few extra minutes to get to where you're going this morning. I'm sure Galen Unall from Life South, brought to us by the good folks at Penn Flooring, Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation. He probably left just a little bit early to combat this fog. Galen, you prepared for this and left a little early, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just that time of the year, right? So be safe.
And you go right through where at one time one of the worst automobile accidents in the state of Florida happened, right there through Paynes Prairie on 75. What was that? Was it like 8, 9 years ago, 10 years ago, something like that, that bad accident?
I don't think it was that long ago. I think it was only like 5 years ago, right?
Was
6
it 5
years
ago?
They put in those warning lights before the prairie. Maybe it was that long ago.
I thought it was.
Maybe more. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it was 8 or 9 years ago because we had a patient story that came out of it. Yeah, that was. I missed that accident by like 15 minutes.
Really?
So, to put it into perspective, yeah, I drive up there, 5 or 6 times a day, and I just missed it. So, yeah, and it was one of those fogs where it got worse.
Because it was mixed. Remember, it was mixed with fog and smoke, and it was 10 people were killed. 10 people were killed. 18 were hospitalized, and it happened in January of 2012.
Okay,
so it was 9
there
years
you go.
ago.
Yeah.
9 years ago.
Yeah. All right.
I know it was more than 5 years ago. So.
Yeah. Gosh, time is flying. That was one of those that was really scary. I ran into a similar situation on my way to New Orleans. In New Orleans, it's so low, and this was before Katrina.
Right.
I was driving over there for the Sugar Bowl, and the fog came in, and thankfully I got there where police had already stopped it. But it was one of those where they just kept happening.
Just kept piling up. Just couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
My New Orleans story is the 1996 Florida State-Florida game after the 95 season. The game that Florida won really big, but nobody realized was a national championship game until, Jake Plummer had beat Ohio State.
Correct.
And so we're flying in, and my wife at the time had bought this as a Christmas present to me, the trip to New Orleans for this bowl game. And so we go to Atlanta. We fly out of Atlanta. We go visit some friends in Atlanta, come down from North Carolina, go to visit friends in Atlanta. Then we get on a plane, and it's storming in Atlanta. I mean, we sit on the tarmac for a good hour and a half because of lightning storms. Finally, we get out. We taxi on the runway. We get up. The pilot tells us we're going to 36,000 feet, which is a huge altitude for such a short trip. And then he says the flight's going to be about 45 minutes longer than normal because they're going to try to fly around the thunderstorm. Mm-hmm. Instead of flying through it, they're going to try to fly around it. So they fly around it. It's bumpy. It's nerve-wracking. I'm sitting on the wing. I can't see the wing the whole time of the trip, right? It's lightning you can see and all, but we're not flying through the storm. So we get to circle of New Orleans. Pilot comes on the radio, like he does, we're going on our final descent to New Orleans, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, the ceiling's 1,500 feet. And I go, well, 1,500 feet, that's a quarter mile. So we'll come out of these clouds about a quarter mile before we touch down. And back then, I hadn't flown a whole lot back then. I embarked on my poker career about 2 years afterwards. So this was probably my fourth or fifth time ever flying, you know, a big jet, because when we flew the charter planes, they were little bitty DC-9s or 727s for Georgia Southern. So when we're coming in, pilot's telling me this, and I'm thinking, well, 1,500 feet, that means we'll get out of these clouds. I'll be able to see the runway. Everything will be fine. I'll be able to breathe. And so I'm thinking this. We touch down on the runway. And I look, and I still can't see the wing.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, okay, he said 1,500 feet. We're on the ground. It's still so foggy I can't see. I am visibly shaken. I mean, I got sweat pouring off of me. I'm nervous as I'm leaving the plane. And the pilot sees this, and the smart guy that he is goes, good thing for radar, huh, big man? Let me tell you something.
You know, I don't get nervous flying.
We drove back.
Not, you know,
we drove
back. I like driving to New Orleans, but I never get nervous flying, because I'm one of those. It's like I can't do it. Being nervous doesn't do anything.
Nah.
So yeah, it's like, okay, you know, it's up to you.
I remember the day I was flying from Orlando, OIA, to Philadelphia. I was going to play in the U.S. Poker Championships in 2004 at the Taj Mahal with, you know, Donald Trump's Taj Mahal. That's what a U.S. Poker Championship used to be. And I came to the realization, sitting on the tarmac in Orlando, why are you nervous? You have no control over anything that's about to happen. So if you get there safely, thank the pilot. If you don't get there safely, it wasn't in your control anyway. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
And from that point on, flying has never been an issue with me, because I say a little prayer before we take off, and
all you can do.
I'm right with the guy upstairs, and what happens happens. That's just how it is.
Yeah, put your headphones in, watch a movie, and hopefully you get some peanuts.
No,
I mean,
what I love to do, and if you really like sarcasm and you really like just fun times, listen to the cockpit channel. You know,
all right.
Some of the airlines allow you to listen to the cockpit channel, and the snarkiness that the pilots have with people in the towers, the air traffic controllers, and you know how pilots think that theirs doesn't stink, and the air traffic controller thinks they're in charge, and the back and forth. I mean, it's gold, Jerry, gold.
I'll have to try that, because I'm flying to Costa Rica in 31 days. 31 days.
I'm so jelly right now.
31 days.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm jelly about that. I'm jelly. I would much rather, Costa Rica, I've been 3 times. I have a buddy of mine that went down there for spring break in 1993, never came back.
Wow, good for him.
He got his dad to give him some money. He bought a snorkeling business from a English guy that was ready to go back. So in Hako Beach, he's right there in Hako Beach, and he's at the Sheraton there, and the Sheraton books the trips for him and everything, and he bought jet skis and everything, and he's made, since he's been down there since 1993, so he's 30 years in 2 years. He's worth probably $2 million now, and he lives in shorts and flip-flops, and his hair's down to his shoulders, and he just takes people snorkeling, and he lives in a little bungalow there, and I hate him. I'm going to be honest with you. I have hate in my heart for him.
Yeah, this will be my second trip. I went down there in, I think, 94 or 95 with my roommate from college at the time. So we went down there and surfed for, I think it was 10 days, but, you know, that time in my life, it kind of all blurred together.
So
I remember we had just gotten out of school.
You went to the West Coast then to surf?
Yeah, off the Pacific. Yeah,
Right.
So it was sweet. I was in great shape back then.
And everybody flies into, you all fly into San Jose. There's no other place to fly into. You fly into San Jose, and then it's a 2.5 hour trip to anywhere.
Correct. Yeah, yeah. So I'm pretty excited. We're going to the rainforest first, and then we're going to spend 3 days in the Pacific side, right there, right next to the Pacific Ocean. I'm going to go sail fishing. So I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
By the way, little known fact about me, when I was in college, when I was in graduate school, I went to work for a place called Wahoo Whitewater Rafting up in Boone, North Carolina. Boone and Blowing Rock, North Carolina.
I'm familiar with Boone.
Yeah, and while I was at graduate school at Appalachian, I got certified as a whitewater rafting instructor, because in your 20s, in your mid to late 20s, you'll do dumb things that you would never do as a 40 or 50-year-old. And one of those is whitewater rafting, Class 5 and Class 6 rapids, the biggest rapids you can get.
Yeah, why not?
So once I got certified as a whitewater rafting instructor and everything, that allows you to go run rivers that you wouldn't normally run. So Jeff, the owner of Wahoo at the time, I don't know if Jeff still owns it or not, but the guy then, at the end of the season every year, because there is an end of the season, with the mountain runoff, the snow runoff, at the end of the season, he would load all of us up, and we would go whitewater rafting somewhere. And one year, he took us to Costa Rica. And let me tell you, it is the best whitewater rafting in my estimation, in the world. I've been to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. I've been up into the Poconos. I've been out when they let the Colorado go. I've ridden some rivers. None of them as fun as the rivers in Costa Rica. But
that's cool.
I had to be rescued in Costa Rica. I almost drowned, and that's not a feeling you want to have to deal with. But I almost drowned. I was caught in an undercut. My head was banging against the rock. They were throwing ropes in it. It was not good. It wasn't good. But I survived.
That's cool.
We need to survive. We need this show to survive, and by doing that, we got to pay some bills. So we'll be right back after this short timeout. You're listening to Ocala Talks with Tom Schmitz, Galen Unoff from Life South, brought to you by Penn Flooring and Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
We face choices every day. Some are unimportant, some are life-changing. What about the choices you make every day? Take the stairs or the elevator, baked or fried. What if your choices meant you are likely to die of heart disease this year? Palm Garden of Ocala is here for you when recovering from a hospital stay. With Palm Garden's Fast Track program and state-of-the-art facility, we have skilled nursing, therapy, and everything you'd expect for the best in care. Call 352-854-6262 for more information.
Now you did it. Are you completely insane? He's back. He, who must not be named. The man, the myth. The only guy in Ocala to eat his own weight in fried pickles. Twice. Now, you asked for it. Sorta. Live and in person. It's Tom Schmitz.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Thursday morning, a foggy Thursday morning. So just take some precaution, be a little extra careful. Maybe leave 5-10 minutes early for wherever you got to go, as this fog will probably burn off by about 10 o'clock. So it's not going to be here. The heat will be here. Going to be in the mid-80s today. So shaping up to be a very good day today. And Galen Unoff is on the phone with us from Life South, brought to us by the good folks at Palm Garden. We'd like to thank them. Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, located at 2700 Southwest 34th Street. Palm Garden offers skilled nursing, physical, occupational, and speech therapy. If you have any questions how they're handling the COVID-19 pandemic, give them a call, 352-854-6262. I'd also like to thank Penn Flooring. Penn Flooring has been family-owned and operated, serving Marion County for over 30-plus years. They are a full-service flooring company. They are experienced in both commercial and residential. Go see their showroom at 1201 Southwest 17th Street here in Ocala, or give them a call, 352-351-3420. Especially if you go to Penn Flooring, go see my good friend Craig and tell him I sent you and that he's supposed to give you a good discount. You know my buddy Craig, don't you, Galen? Craig Stewart?
I do.
You know him, yeah.
I do.
Y'all have known each other since you were younger?
No, he's older than me. I mean, the guy's almost dead. So, he's been bald his whole life. But
Oh, wow.
yeah, he's been dying much longer than I have.
Wow. Craig's going to get you for that one, I think. I think he's going to probably have to get you for that.
More worried about his wife getting me.
Hey,
Yeah.
Julie will get you. Don't kid yourself, pal. So yesterday we did not have the ticker tape parade through the city streets of Tampa. Instead, we had exactly what you would expect in Tampa. We had a boat parade through the downtown area and the river area, and somebody threw a pass with the Lombardi Trophy. Did you see that?
I did. You talked about being jealous. I was jealous of Tom Brady's day yesterday. He seemed to have just a phenomenal time. Now, this morning may be a little different, but yesterday he had a ball. I mean, maybe one of the craziest things I've ever seen was Tom Brady, and he's riding in their boats, and there's 3 or 4 players on each boat. So Tom takes the Super Bowl trophy and tosses it to the boat behind him. And all I could think about when I'm watching this is, oh man, he must make it, or it would have been like breaking news that the Super Bowl trophy's at the bottom of Tampa Bay. It was a lot of fun. It was fun to watch the highlights.
There's speculation the boat Tom Brady was on is actually his boat. I was watching the news.
I heard that.
I was watching the news this morning.
Probably Giselle's.
That it's his $2 million yacht.
Probably Giselle's. Yeah.
Well, she is the breadwinner. Let's be honest. She is the breadwinner.
Absolutely. She makes she's worth over $1 billion.
And remember who she broke up with just before she started dating Tom Brady. Remember, she was hot and heavy with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Correct. Well, and Tom's had this is his 3rd supermodel. His first son's with another supermodel. So it's Tom Brady, Tom freaking Brady. I mean that's yeah.
But what I love about it is, how they do the then and now pictures. And you go back and see Tom Brady when he was 12 years old. He was a little fat kid.
Yeah.
You go back and look at a 12-year-old picture of Tom Brady. He's a little fat kid. Looks a lot like me as an adult, but he was a kid then. I'm an old fat guy.
So much plastic surgery.
I was an old fat guy. He was a young fat kid.
He can barely express himself. It's the same kind of almost half smile now. It's all day. Him and Joe Biden. He's not quite as bad as Joe Biden, but he's had a lot of surgery.
Speaking of Joes. The other day, I was at a local watering hole that I frequent often, right across the street from the Ocala Municipal, but I won't tell you the name of it, but And I was in there, and I was sitting with some friends, and one of the girls said, "Wow, is that Joe Namath?" And we look up, and he's doing a reverse mortgage commercial, because that's what everybody in their 70s as a celebrity does. They hawk reverse mortgages. And I go, "Yeah, that's Broadway Joe." She goes, "Wow, those ears get any bigger, he's going to be an ugly old man." And I got to thinking.
Like he is an old man.
I got to thinking, you looked, Joe's ears, they kept growing. And I'm not looking forward to that because I got some sizable ears. And they say your ears keep growing even when you're, in your 60s, 70s, 80s.
Oh, that's great.
I'm not looking forward to this, pal. I'm going to be honest with you. Not looking forward to it.
No, I hadn't really thought into that. I'm more worried about growing hair everywhere except on my head and everything kind of falling down and gravity killing me every single day.
Yeah,
I hadn't thought about the ear problem. I'll add that to my list.
And when did I noticed this in the mirror yesterday here at the studio, as a matter of fact. When did my eyebrows become the part of me that grows out of control?
Man. Yeah, I have to use when I buy like the shampoo or anything, it has to be full body wash because my body is all hair.
I mean, I
might as well have nice smooth hair.
I was looking in the mirror. I go, do I need to start going to this lady with the thread that cuts your eyelashes? And
yeah, that's right.
What do I got to do?
Yeah.
I
Come back all fired up.
I literally saw Andy Rooney flash in front of my eyes. I was like, oh, God. Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. Andy Reid's got a nice set of routes.
Oh, he
too.
does. Andy Reid does. But don't you think Andy Rooney was probably, those eyebrows were probably the idea that caught the guy that made My Pillow, and that's basically what he did with My Pillow. Is just he stuffed My Pillows like Andy's eyebrows. Because Andy's eyebrows, before Andy passed away, you looked like you could sleep in his eyebrows.
Oh, sure. Well, his eyebrows were his moneymaker.
Oh, they were.
He probably had him secretly insured for millions of dollars or something. That's pretty funny.
He was one of my favorite guys because he was just a curmudgeon that didn't care. And I remember he did one, he goes, if you ever see me in a restaurant and I'm eating dinner, walk away from me. Do not think I want you to come up and say hello. And I think, that's spot on. You know where I learned that you don't bother celebrities while they're eating? And I learned this lesson. I was 18 years old, believe it or not. And that was the only time I was starstruck, except for one other time in my life I've been starstruck. But this guy, William Andrews, running back for the Atlanta Falcons, he was eating in the Lenox Square Mall, and he was eating with his wife and his children in the food court right in front of the American Chocolate Chip Cookie Factory where I was working. So I was like, I'm going to go out there and get his autograph. So he's eating with his family. I go out there and go, Mr. Andrews, can I have your autograph? And he looks at me and says, son, I'm eating with my family. It's not time for autographs. Thank you. And dismissed me. And it registered with me from that point on. And so now when I see celebrities out and I see people hawking, can I get a picture? William Andrews taught me a long time ago, even though you think they're a celebrity, they're probably just a dad with their kids and their wife out eating, and they deserve the same respect and not to be bothered, just like you want to do when you take your children and family out to eat.
Well, nobody really bothers me other than the people around me going, God, who's this guy over here? Somebody shut him up. I mean, that's about it. The security comes and gets me, but yeah.
But the only other time I was starstruck, and I didn't rush over to meet them or anything, but we were at the SEC championship, the first one Jim McElwain went to. So 6 years ago now, I guess, in Alabama. It was the one where, they were a sacrificial lamb to Alabama like they have been every SEC championship game in the 2000 teens. Game day was there and everything. And here he comes down off the game day set. He goes, hey, buddy. And Buddy goes over to talk to him. And I'm standing there and I go, we go to walk away. Buddy goes, why didn't you walk up? I go, I didn't want to walk. And he goes, but boy, I'd really like to meet him. He goes, are you starstruck? I go, no, but I'd really like to meet the guy. Buddy goes, well, come on. Took me back behind him, and I got to have a conversation with, and now have talked to him numerous times since, Mr. College Football, Tony Barnhart. How terrible is that my one desire to see starstruck was just Tony Barnhart?
I used to have him on my show up in Jacksonville all the time. He's great.
Great guy.
He's fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, and, and the only time I was starstruck is I met Jack Nicklaus. And then Ted Williams had that impact on me, but when I was in my 20s when my dad introduced me to Ted Williams. But Jack Nicklaus scared the heck out of me. So.
Mr. Palmer scared me. I would go.
No, he's so gracious and warm. He wants you to come up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Jack, this was in, I think the first time I interviewed him.
Hey, wait.
It was with my dad. I was like 8.
First
time I met him, I mean.
Can you hold off on that story and can we go to break and
Sure.
you come back and tell me that story? Because I really want to hear that story. Sounds like a good story. Galen Udall, the first time he met Jack Nicklaus and the intimidation factor of Jack Nicklaus. Sounds like a great story. We'll come back after the break. And, I thought we were going to go to break, but I can't even find where. Well, there you go. Oh, there it is. All right. I'm moving stuff around on myself, Galen. Moving stuff around on myself. This is Ocala Talks on a Thursday morning. It's a foggy Thursday morning, so take some extra time to get around safely to where your destination is today. We'll be right back with more with Galen Unall from Life South, brought to you by Penn Flooring and Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center. Right back after this timeout.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pride.
The leaders of the United States and China held their first phone call since the American change of leadership. USA Radio News' Dan Naraki reports.
President Biden spoke to Chinese President Xi Jinping Wednesday evening for the first time since taking office. According to a readout of the call, Biden pressed the Chinese leader on human rights abuses, its recent actions against Taiwan, and climate change. The presidents also discussed approaches on battling the COVID-19 pandemic. Tennessee Republican Senator Bill Hagerty says he's glad to see the president push his Chinese counterpart, but the former ambassador to Japan tells Fox News that Biden will have to get tougher against a country that doesn't play by the same rules that we do.
And I was pleased to see that President Biden called out Xi on some of the nefarious actions that China's undertaken, but China is moving aggressively every day. They're moving against us. They're moving militarily, they're moving diplomatically, and certainly they've been moving economically in a very predatory manner. They don't play by the same rules that we do, and we've got to be present and pushing back.
From the USA Radio News Ohio Bureau, I'm Dan Naraki.
USA Radio News.
Times are certainly uncertain. In fact, the return of food shortages is likely. Don't take chances. Make the decision to acquire a dependable supply of long-lasting emergency food. Food that lasts for up to 25 years in storage, ready the moment you need it. There's an old saying, failing to plan means planning to fail. Don't wait for the next crisis. Have a 3-month, 6-month, or even 1-year supply of food on hand. It's easy and affordable. We're My Patriot Supply, America's leader in emergency preparedness. We've served millions of folks like you for over a decade, and our mission is your survival. Our meals are delicious and provide you with 2,000 calories a day, and our kits arrive quickly and discreetly at your doorstep. Visit MyPatriotSupply.com and feast your eyes on the food that could save your life someday. That's MyPatriotSupply.com. Take the pressure off yourself. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and face the future without regrets.
Visit the Appleton Museum of Art to see the new special exhibits, Memories and Inspiration. To carry and see Betty Davis' collection of African-American art being shown for the first time in Florida. The 62 extraordinary paintings, photographs, sculptures, and more are on view through March 28. Visit on Saturday or Sunday in February and enjoy free admission. For more information, visit appletonmuseum.org.
Oh, hey, Grandpa.
Oh, hey, Grandpa. Hey, Grandpa.
Yes, buddy?
Can you take me fishing this weekend?
I'd love to.
Have you noticed a change in your hearing over the years? Missing the little things in life? Visit Beneficial Hearing in Ocala today. Their expert team of audiologists will make sure you never miss a moment. Call Beneficial Hearing today at 352-629-4418 or visit them online, beneficialhearing.com.
Each morning, we wake up thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala. If you have legal issues, don't go it alone. Call 352-732-7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA. 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention, and God bless America. Shamrock Security Systems, 629-3223. Shamrock Security Systems is located here in Ocala, Florida. Shamrock Security Systems is a top-rated alarm company offering 24/7 monitoring, video surveillance, fire and flood protection. You'll sleep a little better once the job is done. Shamrock Security Systems for over 31 years. 629-3223. Get a 100% free quote from Shamrock Security. 629-3223.
On Thursday the 11th at 10:50, join us when our guests will be Mian Park, MD, MAS, Director of the UCSF Polycystic Kidney Disease Center. You will hear about a rare kidney disease that could be hiding in your genes, the role your genes play in your health, and when to see your doctor, and more vital information from WOCA America Pharmaceutical Incorporated and your friends here at WOCA The Source.
Now you did it. Are you completely insane? He's back. He, who must not be named, the man, the myth, the only guy in Ocala to eat his own weight in fried pickles. Twice. Now, you asked for it. Sorta. Live and in person. It's Tom Schmidt.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Thursday, a foggy Thursday. Fog's not burning off as quickly as it did yesterday. It's 8:35, and it's still very foggy out there. So take extra precaution. Take a few extra minutes if you're driving to your next destination to take into effect the fog effect. Galen, held over because he was telling us a great story about how he was scared of Jack Nicklaus. Is that right? You were scared of him, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah. Well, the first time I met him, I can't remember if it was 78 or 79, up in Jacksonville at the tournament at the TPC. And I was with my dad, and he interviewed Jack Nicklaus. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's Jack Nicklaus. And that wasn't what I was afraid of. So later that afternoon, my dad had asthma really bad. And we're on the course, and I can't remember, we were far away from the clubhouse. So this is in 78, 79, and he has an asthma attack. And
your dad does.
There was my dad does. There's no security. There's nobody really out on this part of the course, and I'm 8, right? And so I just start running to the clubhouse, and I get there, and I can barely talk or anything. I'm so tired. I'm so upset. And so Jack sees me, and he says, "Where's your dad?" I said, he's sick on the course. Jack grabs a security guard and says, "Take this kid to his son." So the security guard takes me to my son. My dad, anyway, turns out to be all right. He's in the tent getting oxygen. Jack comes in and checks on him. So, that was pretty cool. My dad was like, oh, my God. He was embarrassed by the whole thing. So 10 years go by. More like 20. I'm 26 at the time, and I'm at the TPC. Hadn't seen Jack Nicklaus since. And so he's there at TPC interviewing about the Hall of Fame. And I just introduced myself, and I said, thank you very much for what you did. That's when I was scared. He was so cool about it, though.
Did he remember the incident?
I'll never forget.
Did he remember the incident?
No, I think he wanted to, but no. I mean, it was a much bigger deal for me, obviously, than it was for him. It was 20 years later. But, yeah, and I told him, I said, I'll never forget what you did for my dad. He goes, oh, okay. And Jack he's not Arnie. He's not a warm person.
No.
Right? He's a competitor. And this is well after his competitive days. And we was doing interviews one-on-one. So I was working with the TV station at the time. And he was just doing interviews talking about the World Golf Hall of Fame. But, yeah, I remember talking to him about it. And it was pretty cool. We went on to do a pretty good interview. But I told him, I said, I have to share that. So I don't think he remembered it.
Did not remember it, but he wanted to, and that's what counts. He wanted to.
Yeah, he didn't dismiss it. You know what I mean? He could have, and it was hard for me just to, because at the time when you're 8, you don't understand how big of of a personality and a character and a impact this guy had on golf. I watched a lot of golf, and I remember he gave me a golf ball and signed it. And I won my first tournament with that golf ball. So
you're not supposed to play with that golf ball, right?
Yeah, well, when you're 8, it's like Sandlot. You have Babe Ruth signatures. It's another baseball. You gotta play with it. Yeah, but I won my first tournament with that ball, and then I didn't keep that one either. So I played with that one. But it was a crazy, and I'll never forget it. I just went up and ran to anybody, and I had a press credential so I could go, just about anywhere. Back then they didn't stop you anyway. But I just I went to where I knew there was somebody, and Jack was standing there. Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
The only, like I said, the only golfer that I ever, was, and it was Mr. Palmer, and it not so much because he was so gracious. And the first time I met him, he was down in the locker room, and he was sitting around a card table playing bridge with 3 of his buddies, and we were down there, and we had played golf that day at the at Bay Hill, and so we got to go down in the locker room, and there he is, and he asked us how we liked the course and everything. What do you say to Arnold Palmer? How do you like the course? Great, sir.
Yeah. Can I share a lemonade and a tea with you? That's a different situation. I mean, when you're in a social setting with somebody like that, you can't talk about the generic things on topic. First time
Payne's Prairie. He just hit Payne's Prairie, folks.
It was right. It was different. Yeah, it was different.
Yeah, we missed all of that because you went through Payne's Prairie. What'd you say again?
Oh, yeah. The first time I met Arnold Palmer was he had just won a massive skins game at the Shell Open. So, but he was just such a gracious guy. Just such a gracious guy.
Really was a good guy. And, I never called him Arnold or Arnie. I always referred to him as Mr. Palmer just because I thought the world would hate me if I said something besides Mr. Palmer.
I called him Mr. Palmer. My dad called him Mr. Palmer. My dad was older than him. Yeah, it was, that's not a shock.
Yeah.
Not at all. And again, there are some people you do it out of sheer reverence and respect. And then there are other people you do it because you feel like you have to.
I guess
with Arnold, you felt like you had to. It was out of respect.
Yeah, it was out of respect, and you had to.
Yeah,
it was the double
whammy. It's like you never called Jack Nicklaus the Golden Bear or anything to his face. I mean, you're not doing that. Tiger, you always called Tiger. But he was so young when he bust onto the scene.
Let me tell you something. This guy.
So
the Tiger that's out on tour now is so much better than the Tiger that was on tour 10 years ago. The Tiger that was on tour 10 years ago, I mean, I remember when he withdrew from the Players' Championship and cited his knee as a bad thing. I was with Joe Cowart. Joe Cowart and I were in the bullpen, news area of the TPC.
Right.
And they said there were people making bets because Tiger was 6 over through 7 holes. And there were newsmen in the room saying, bet he withdraws at number 9. I got 50 on that. Hey, I'll take $100 of that action.
Sure.
Right? And so when they said, it comes over the loudspeaker, the head of PGA Media Relations, Chris, goes, Tiger Woods, WD after 9. And then he said, flash stand, 10 minutes. And I mean, it was like one of those scenes, in Airplane when all the reporters run into the phone booth and it knocks the phone booth over.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that's what happened.
Sure.
We were all trying to get out of these double doors. And I mean, the who's who of golf reporters were there. Ron Syrak was there, the who's who. And that we're all trying to get this flash stand. And Tiger gets the flash stand and he talks about how, he's got the knee and he can't move barely on the course. I just can't do it. And Joe Cowart and I start filming with our phones. It's not illegal to do then, for the news media. Now you got to have the photo pass or whatever if you're going to do it. So we start doing it, And we get Tiger. He jumps down off the flash stand, and as you know, a flash stand's about a 1.5 2 foot higher than where you're standing. So he jumps down, lands on the knee that he says is in bad shape, so he can't continue. And then he takes the stairs up to the clubhouse 2 at a time with this bad knee. And we got it all on film and put it on YouTube. And 30 minutes later got called into the media office. Do you guys like your badges? The video comes down. And that, so that's my take on Tiger Woods is, he openly lied and then got angry that we had him on film proving he lied.
Yeah.
And almost had our credentials taken.
That's not a shock.
No.
That's not a shock at all. What's interesting is when he won at TPC, what was it, his third junior? I was there, and he was fabulous. He was absolutely fabulous. So, not surprised by that.
But I never got starstruck by any of the golfers anyway, because I'd been around the golfers and everything, and I know Sean Foley, the swing coach to the golfers, and a very good friend of mine out on tour that took me under his wing and showed me the ropes was a guy named Sir Nick Faldo. So, when you drink adult beverages, you can find the golfers that drink adult beverages with you, and life's a lot easier. Like Jerry Kelly is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in your life. Journeyman golfer, but one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in your life. So, hey, Galen, today, National Make a Friend Day.
Wow, how about that?
So
I guess I got to move forward.
I'm giving you the charge today. You have to make a new friend today because it's National Make a Friend Day.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So, you're gonna have to report back tomorrow. You're
gonna
have to report back tomorrow and tell us about your new friend.
It's not gonna happen.
I got my eyes on it.
You don't want any more friends.
I got my eye on this.
You want new friends at our age?
Yeah. I got my eye on this one person that I've been trying to get friends with. I'm going to go out and befriend them today. Snuffleupagus. I'm going to go out and befriend him today. I'm going to walk up to Snuffleupagus and say, hey, it's about time you hung out with somebody besides that big yellow bird. I'm going to see if you'll hang out with me.
That's awesome.
Hey, Galen, where's the Bloodmobile today?
Awesome. Hey, today we're at the Tuscany Apartments right there on 34th. So please come out and see us. As always, we're on the boulevard and get the Life Donate Blood.
Galen, thanks for hanging over with us. See you tomorrow. Talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, all. Bye, all.
Galen Unall from Life South, brought to you by the good folks at Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center and Penn Flooring. We'll be right back after this short timeout on Ocala Talks.
Discover the fun at Discovery Center. Explore the new exhibit, Chain Reaction Charlie, where you'll design, tinker, and invent new machines. They offer classes, summer camps, and special events like date night, making it fun for everyone. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. For more information, visit www.mydiscovery.com.